You know the person that says crazy things? The guy who you support, who you voted for, who wants to rip up parts of the Constitution, who still says the 2020 election is stolen, who's been talking about the Panama Canal. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, he wants peace in Ukraine, but he wants to use our military against other countries, including the Panama Canal. So don't you come on here and say, oh, well, all ex-wives do that. No, they don't. Okay, did you call it a failure when he said he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it? Did you call it a failure when he said he was going to hire a special prosecutor to put Hillary Clinton in jail? Were you? We are now.
Well, did that not show how compassionate he was? He didn't go after her like everybody is saying that he's going to put people in jail.
Okay, so hold on. Let's clarify for a moment.
He didn't go
hold
after
on,
Hillary.
JD. Hang on the line.
He let her go.
Okay, hang on the line. I disagree with that assessment, but let's talk about this for a moment. You used the word compassion. Would you say it's compassionate when you attack Gold Star families, when you attack women on looks, when you say John McCain, I don't respect him because he was captured, when you cheat on every single woman you've ever been with, when you have unprotected sex with a porn star and then pay her off $130,000 weeks after Barron was born? Would you label that compassion? I'm just asking you the question because you use the term Trump and compassion in the same sentence, which I think most people probably wouldn't use. If you're going to describe Trump as something, they probably wouldn't call him compassionate. Would you say those actions and forget about possible criminality? Is that compassion?
Let's go to your last statement. How do you know he had unprotected sex?
How do I know he had unprotected? Okay, so we want to question Stormy Daniels. Well, maybe you're right, JD. Maybe there's a chance that he just called Michael Cohen and said, hey, you know what? I really like Horseface. Can you please write her a $130,000 check, even though I didn't sleep with her? Now, JD, if you're one of those people that believes that fairy tale, then you can go ahead and believe that.
How does that answer? How does that answer my question?
If you're
how do you know he had unprotected sex?
Based on the fact that he paid her $130,000 and she's in an NDA where she can't talk about it. But you know what, JD? If you believe that, then we can forget about the storm because I'm sure he just paid her a check just because he loves her and he likes her and he wanted to pay her off. What about attacking Gold Star families and John McCain and attacking women on looks? What is that compassionate? You tell me.
No, that's stupid.
Well, okay, but I stupid is, oh my God, I left my keys in my car and I locked my car.
No, it's not.
It's worse than stupid.
It's not very good. It's not very good politics. It's not very good.
No, forget about politics.
It's okay. A lot of things.
You said it.
None of them are very good.
Okay, you said it.
The only exception I take there is the John McCain thing goes back prior
Doesn't matter.
to anything.
Doesn't matter.
It goes back 20 years.
You can disagree, JD.
When McCain started it and criticized
JD,
him.
you can not like somebody's politics. That's okay. You can go after somebody I don't agree with personally, but whatever. That it might be the case. But to defend something as far as going after someone's service and being a POW, well, they have a history, is not an excuse for saying you don't respect somebody because they were captured.
Again, it's not.
But hold on, JD. But hold on.
Not a good choice of words.
Okay, it's worse than not a good choice of words, and it's worse than being stupid. JD, it's despicable. And the reports are that it was Donald Trump who dodged the military himself. Why can't you just say, instead of saying, well, I would have used a different choice of words, or a Vivek Ramaswamy, well, I would have used better judgment. No, only a despicable human being with no moral compass, because he doesn't like somebody personally, would attack their military service for them being a POW. Why is that so hard for you to at least admit?
Because I know the true story of McCain. I know the start of the situation between him and McCain.
So that defends it.
It goes back to the 90s.
Give me any rational excuse, in any situation, for attacking somebody for being a POW who served this country. Give me any rational reason.
Obviously, Trump has thin skin.
I didn't ask you if you had thin skin. Give me any rational excuse.
Obviously, he does.
That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse.
If you say something bad about him, he's going to come back at you 10 times harder.
If you say something bad about him, he's going to come back at you 10 times harder.
He's proven it.
You're making it as an excuse, and I haven't heard one yet.
No, I'm not. I'm not excusing it at all. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. Now, You know what the oddity about all the things that you and others accuse him about women?
I don't accuse him. I don't accuse him. There's evidence to back up everything I say.
The 25 women sexually charged as the first wife and everything else. Isn't it odd that he ran for president 3 times? On both times he won, he beat a woman. That tells you the fairer sex.
Hold on. You're trying to make a. Hold on. No, because what you just said is despicable. You're trying to make an analogy between sexual assault and the fact that he defeated 2 women. What the hell is wrong with you? What a terrible thing to say. Let me tell you something, JD. Donald Trump is a liable sexual abuser. You can make every excuse in the book. You voted for a liable sexual abuser. You voted for a man who has allegations with over 25 women that have accused him of sexual assault or rape, including his ex-wife in a court deposition under oath, who said that her husband at the time raped her. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he defeated Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris in an election. And the fact that you would try to contrast or compare the two, you want to use the term stupid in this conversation. What a stupid thing for you to say. There is no direct correlation between winning or losing an election at any level and sexual assault. And for you to bring that up makes you sound like an imbecile. There is no comparison there. Sadly, there are some people in this country, I would imagine, JD, like yourself, that are willing to push aside all the horrible things he said about POWs, all the horrible things he said about women, the liable sexual abuse and all the accusations of sexual abuse or rape. But you care more about a gaffe that Joe Biden said. You care more about drag queens. You care more about the LGBT community. You care more about something called critical race theory. You care more about all these things. But when it comes to liable sexual abuse, your simple response would be, or I don't respect him because of being a POW, he was captured. Your only response to that is, oh, I don't agree with it. I wouldn't have used those words. JD, give me a break, man. You want to clarify what you just said? You're comparing elections that he defeated a woman in an election to sexual abuse? That's stupid.
Can I say something now?
If you say something that's logical and don't say something stupid like what you just said, because it's offensive.
You didn't let me finish my point. The point is that, first of all, ex-wives will say anything. And number 2, women in this country.
Pot him down again. Pot him down again. Ex-wives will say anything? No, JD. I know a lot of men that have ex-wives, and their ex-wives have not accused them of rape. And those ex-wives haven't testified under oath in a deposition that Donald Trump raped them. And I also know a lot of men that have been accused of doing some bad things. But guess what? If they say they're not guilty, they don't pay the ex-wife off to shut her mouth. So don't start off a conversation by saying, oh, all ex-wives do that. Ex-wives say some crazy things. You know the person that says crazy things? The guy who you support, who you voted for, who wants to rip up parts of the Constitution, who still says the 2020 election is stolen, who's been talking about the Panama Canal. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, he wants peace in Ukraine, but he wants to use our military against other countries, including the Panama Canal. So don't you come on here and say, oh, well, all ex-wives do that. No, they don't.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Am I back on?
Hello? Hello?
Am I back on?
Hello? 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 Earth to JD.
Can I talk?
Hello?
Can I talk?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Can I talk?
JD, I think all ex-wives say that their husband raped them. That's a great take, JD. Great take.
I didn't say all. I said some.
Some. Okay. So it must not be true then.
Can I finish my point? Obviously, over 2.2 million people who voted more for him than Harris, mostly women, didn't believe what they these women have said
Oh,
about
no,
him.
I disagree.
Obviously,
I disagree. I disagree with you, JD, and here's why I disagree. There are some women, as you would say, right? Some, right? That would rather vote for a liable sexual abuser, even if they believe he probably sexually abused women. They are so despicable, just like the men, that they would rather vote for a despicable human being because they just hate voting for a woman or they just hate voting for a Democrat. So don't give me the high horse that, hey, there are women that didn't believe it. No, there are a lot of Republicans in this country. As Donald Trump said it best, your leader, your guy who you voted for, I will give you a perfect example of why you're wrong. Donald Trump, quote, once said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would still vote for me. What does that mean, JD? What it means is I can shoot and murder somebody in cold blood and they will still support me. JD, that's why we call it a cult. I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would still support me. So no, JD, there's a lot of women and men in this country that support and still support Donald Trump and voted for him. They don't care whether he shoots somebody. They don't care if he allegedly rapes somebody. They just hate Democrats. So your assertion is wrong. Your point is wrong. But go ahead. I'll pod you back up so you can continue making stupid comments. Go ahead. Hello.
Thank you. What that means is he has diarrhea of the mouth at times. And number two, everything you just said is all hypothetical. There is nothing that you said is factual.
Donald Trump you want to I'll give you facts. Donald Trump was found liable of sexual abuse in a court of law, and he's a 34-count felon. Now, everybody that voted for Donald Trump, now some of them are very ignorant and they probably are disillusioned, right? But those are facts. These people, many of them, were willing to put that off to the side and still vote for him because they hate Democrats or they hate a woman of color that could be running the show as president of the United States. Donald Trump himself said it. I didn't say it. He said I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would support me. And let me tell you something. It's one of the few things that Donald Trump has said in the last 10 years where I think he was actually being truthful, JD. I appreciate you calling in. I have to get to some other callers. I do hope you have a nice new year. But with all due respect, my friend, trying to make some sort of weird analogy or comparison to sexual assault and the fact that Donald Trump defeated two women is probably the dumbest analogy in all of 2024 that I have ever heard. Thank you for the phone call.